Hello and welcome. Tonight we'll be cooking some dinner. We won't be following any particular recipe. I went to the store and picked up some meat. We've got some ground turkey here. Picked up some vegetables. That'll be mushrooms, an onion, and a few carrots. And we're going to cook up some rice with this later for carbs, so should hopefully be a fairly well-rounded meal. Those are our base ingredients, and we'll kind of figure the rest out as we go along. So the first thing I'm going to do is rinse these mushrooms. Just got some regular brown mushrooms from the grocery store. I think maybe sometimes they're called button mushrooms. Gonna rinse these guys real quick. And I'm actually going to let those kind of drip dry for a little while, because I don't really like having wet mushrooms go into the pan, and don't want to have to cap them dry or anything. So we've got plenty to do in the meantime. We're going to work these carrots. So let's get a peeler. Just going to peel these guys. This is actually the first time I'm using this peeler. Currently in an Airbnb kitchen, so not home base, so to speak. So things might be a little wonky, but we'll make do. Just kind of making quick peeling strokes. No need to start at the very end or finish at the very bottom, because we'll be cutting those ends off anyway. So there we go, I've got them peeled. Gonna cut the tips off and then these fat ends off. Okay, now we'll get rid of those real quick. So now I'm gonna dice them fairly finely. Kind of want everything to have a small, all the ingredients have a similar small size, so that every bite is more or less kind of even. So we're going to dice these fairly finely and cut them in half, and then a few strips like this. And carrots in particular, I'm going to try to get them a little finer than the rest of the veggies, because they're denser, they'll take longer to soften and cook down, and yeah, this is not a stew, we're not going to cook it for a long time or anything. So I want to try to make it as easy as possible for the carrots to soften up. Just slice them in half lengthwise and cut the fat ends down the middle. Try to have uniform size here. Not making too big a deal about it, but just giving it the old college try. Alright. Always eat a little bit of the veg as you're cooking. Kind of to motivate you. Keep you from rushing it so you don't get too hungry. Push these off to the side here. Make some more space on the cutting board. Mushrooms are probably as dry as they're going to get. Oh, that guy almost died. Alright, now these, I'm just going to slice them because it's easy. This is about a pound of mushrooms. We have 2 pounds of ground turkey, 3 medium-sized carrots, and an onion, and we'll make some amount of rice. And the plan is to feed 2 people, including myself, for 3 days, so 6 meals. You could easily cut this in half. Just get 1 pound of turkey and half the amount of everything else, and that'll be 3 meals for yourself. Okay, and now I'm actually going to pause chopping the veg the veggies. We're gonna go for a little bit of efficiency here, so we can throw the meat in and kind of get that started, get it going. While we, once it's cooking, now we can chop the onion and figure everything else out. Get two things going here at once. So, you know, I had this bowl planned for this dish, but now that I'm looking at all these veggies, I think maybe it's a little too small. So I'm gonna see if we have something else. There's this kind of cast iron looking monster here. Is that even bigger? I guess that's bigger, but this is a tough one. They're kind of almost the same size. Wow. You know what? I am just gonna go with the original plan. Might take a little bit longer, but also it's gonna take forever to heat up. Okay, get that back in there. It's one of the fun parts of just being in random kitchens. You kind of have to improvise. So there's also avocado oil spray, pretty convenient. Any spray will do. Of course, you know, probably you'll have olive oil or canola oil or whatever kind of oil will be fine. Just want to coat the bottom, and we'll let that get hot, and we'll plop the ground turkey in there. Gonna cut these guys up, and you'll notice that these are patties, but oddly enough, these turkey breast patties were the cheapest ground turkey I could find in the store, so I got them. This will be 2 pounds, and we're just gonna dump them all in there and kind of mush them up until they're even. With that oil. Alright, it looks like it's pretty hot, so I'm gonna start tossing these in. Yep. That sound means it's hot. Yeah, pan's gonna get a little crowded, but I promise we'll be okay. Oh, almost forgot that guy. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Hopefully you can still hear me over the sizzle. I'm just gonna really quickly kind of mash things up here. Okay. So we'll let that fry up. Turkey breast is not going to brown too much, but it will be nice to get some browning and maybe even get a little bit of frond action. Frond? Actually, not sure. Anyway, get a little bit of that brown gunk on the bottom that we can then deglaze. In the meantime, as promised, we'll continue processing our vegetables. We got one yellow onion here. Probably could have used another, but oversight. Too late now. Gonna slice it in half, cut the ends off. Cut this end off. Peel back a couple layers. Maybe cut a little bit more of that end off. Get that guy back in there. Oh, that's from somewhere else. Alright. Okay, so slice a little more off here. Okay, so a lot of people have their onion cutting methods. Mine is probably kind of dumb, but I slice it the whole way, like with the grain, I guess. Slice it through, and I hold the back of it with my fingers so that it doesn't kind of fly away. This is probably dangerous. I don't really recommend you do this. I can cut the onions however you want, but I'm giving them a kind of a medium dice, and holding them in this manner and chopping them all the way allows me to keep them in this shape, and then dice them horizontal to the grain this way fairly easily. Gonna have some stragglers there at the end. There we go. Okay, there's our onion. Don't have that much space in the bowl anymore, so I'm gonna push that off to the side. How's our meat doing? It's cooking. It's cooking. I'll leave it alone for a little bit. What else can we do? Oh yeah, we actually have some garlic here from the last cook. Actually no, it's a completely fresh garlic. Right, I must have just forgotten about it. Alright, so we'll get the garlic out of its little house there. Try to peel it. I like a lot of garlic. Honestly, I think you can't have enough garlic. This will vary person to person, of course, so use your judgment. Some people go crazy with it. Could probably use this whole head, and some folks will tell me that's still not enough. But I think I'm satisfied with that amount. I'll leave a little bit of a quarter for something else later. So I'm just gonna kind of mush it up, really, because it's just gonna flavor the rest of the dish. All right. So to do that, I just squish it down like that. Get all the skin off. I know a lot of people slam down, but I've got this weird cutting board here that's suspended, so I don't really want to be slamming down too much on it. And I find that just pressing down on it slowly, you're able to peel it just as well. Okay, it's getting there. It's getting there. Let's give our meat a little mix. The meat's getting there as well. I'm probably gonna take it out of the dish and put it somewhere else, just while we cook our veggies. Let me lower the heat so I have time to chop the garlic. And actually, now's a good time to start salting and peppering stuff. I'm going to do this several times throughout the process. Find that if you kind of season continuously throughout the cook, it ends up with a better flavor. And if you salt something at the beginning, I kind of feel like the salt gets cooked out. Does that make sense? I don't know. People call it layering, so I guess it's a thing. But that's how we're going to approach seasoning. I'm going to put more stuff in there than just salt and pepper, but for now I think that's all we need. Alright, let that cook a little bit more while we finish our garlic. Okay, I think that's good enough. And it's good to have a few bigger pieces here and there. Get a nice bite with a chunk of garlic. Those are good bites. Alright, so let's kick this back up. We're gonna need to pop that guy out of the pan to make room for the rest of the stuff. I wonder if this will hold it. Okay, that looks pretty cooked to me. There's the meats. So, I'm gonna scoop it all out. Interesting, we got some browning on the side of the pan. Alright, a few bits are left in there, that's okay. Let's get the fire back on. There it is. Turn it to like a medium-high, kinda. A little bit more oil, just to get ourselves going here. Now we're just gonna straight dump all these veggies in. I'll go in there with some onion. I'm going to do half the garlic. I think garlic is going to be, well, the idea is similar to the salt and pepper. You know, you get some in there now to flavor the oils and everything like that, and then we can get some in there a little bit later so that's, you know, retain some of its flavor, doesn't cook out all the way before you eat it. Right. And now we've got our weird veggie mix. As you can see, the pan is very overcrowded, so it will take some time to cook down, but it will cook down. The mushrooms will let go of all their moisture, the onion will let go of all of its moisture, the carrots will kind of get softer and lose some moisture as well, and this will cook down a good bit and we'll have room to put the meat back in. But definitely going to cut some of this part out, you know, as it cooks down. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. And that should be okay. Let it keep going. Man, that garlic smells good. Actually, we can probably get started on the rice while that happens. So we got a little pan there. Let's see, where's our rice? There it is. We got basmati rice. Usually have either basmati or jasmine, that's what I like. We're gonna make about a cup of it. So let's say this is a cup. Yeah, that'll be good. Always wash your rice. It's a little bit more annoying, but that's just going to give you a lot better flavor. The reason rice tastes so good at restaurants and not when you cook it at home is because they wash it. Washing it is simple. Just some cold water in whatever vessel you're going to be using to cook it in. Give it a stir. And tip it slowly. Now don't rush this. And it'll drain out like that. You kind of put your hand there to stop it from draining or stop the rice from falling out. And we'll just repeat this a couple times until that water runs a lot clearer than before. Yeah, that's a lot better. I guess 5 times the charm with this particular brand of basmati rice. Oh, close one. Alright, water to rice proportions are easy. As much rice as you put in there, you put twice as much water in, so I'm going to go ahead and dump 2 of those guys in. Okay. Alright, we're going to turn that to boil. And we'll actually salt it right now. For some flavor. Alright, back to our veggie mix here. Where did I leave my glove? There it is. Okay. See, now we're getting some real water building up there. All that juice is coming out of the onions and the mushrooms. And we can use that juice to deglaze. See, there's brown stuff on the side. We sprinkle some juice on it. And let's rub it with this wooden spoon. Those brown bits will come off real easy. What'll happen is all those juices, that fond that got built up on the pan, come back into the food, and it'll be easier to clean after too. You won't have to scrub with the hard side of the sponge. Nobody likes that. Alright, so these are cooking down. See, we're about almost half volume right now, honestly. I'm going to continue cooking this down until all that moisture evaporates. And now's a good time to start seasoning it. With a good amount of salt, we got a lot of food in here. Pepper, regular black pepper. Okay, now we can start to think about some other spices. I, of course, garlic powder. Again, in my opinion, can never go wrong. Too much garlic. Both dry and wet garlic, like with fresh garlic, kind of add a different element to the dish, so having both is good. Let's see, some paprika will probably be good. A little bit of spice. Again, you can heavy-hand it with the spices. You can't really, it's really hard to over-spice like it is over salt, so don't worry about it. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, ground cumin, nice. Okay, awesome. I like cumin. I like cumin in pretty much all my meat, so that's good for me. And pretty much just kind of open stuff up and smell it and see if you like how it smells, and if you like it, then add it. We'll keep adjusting, obviously. Yellow mustard. Huh, that's something I don't see very often, so we'll go ahead and we'll try that. Why not? Oh, that does smell pretty good. I'll pop that in there too. Start with a little bit. Who knows, maybe it's extremely spicy. But the chances are low that you'll ruin the dish with spices in these quantities. Let's give that a mix. And over time, you'll start to kind of figure out what spice combinations you like. Different things go kind of pair differently with different foods and with each other, with other spices. There's recipes and stuff, but also I think the bulk of that learning will come from experience. Especially as you start to branch out into kind of putting together your own meals, randomly ad hoc like this. See, if there's a lot of liquid in there, it's going to take a little bit longer to cook away, because we have a kind of a narrow pot with a small footprint. If you had a wider pot, a bigger pot, or if even you were using a pan, everything would, the larger surface area boiling away this liquid, it would go away faster. But we don't have that, so we're going to wait while this finishes. It's getting there. Yeah. Don't be tempted to stir it too often. There's a ton of moisture and we want it to boil out, so it won't burn, and just mixing it around will cool it down and kind of get in the way of it boiling away, so leave it alone. So of course you can tell visually when the meat has, or rather when the liquid has kind of boiled out from the vegetables, but you can also hear the difference. There's less of a boiling sound and more of a kind of a hissing sound. That's the veggies starting to fry, which is good. That's where we want to be. So we'll go ahead and dump the meat back in there. And there's more where that came from. We're going. Alright, that looks like a lot of food. This would be a good time to dump the rest of our garlic in. This will still probably cook down most of the way, but I think adding garlic in the later stages, can't hurt. Let's give this all a mix. Okay, there's the base of our meal. From this point on, it's really just about making it taste exactly how you want it to taste, really. And we do that. Excuse me. We do that by tasting it. So just take a little bit. You know, starting to get a good base, but let's see what we can do. I know I happen to have. Nope, not that. Don't know what that is. Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce. Nailed it. We're gonna dump a bunch of this in here. Really good flavor to add to meat or vegetable dishes, even fish. I'm gonna be liberal with it. In my experience, you need a lot of it to really kind of taste it in there. But I'm gonna flavor and keep tasting and kind of rinse and repeat, and that's how we arrive somewhere where we want to be. Let's see. Pretty solid. I think I really want to kick this up a notch, though. I'm liking the flavor that I'm tasting. I want to taste more of it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dump a whole bunch more of everything that I dumped in previously. And this is typically the tactic that I go with. If I'm liking something, I do more of it. If it's kind of moving in the wrong direction, kind of try to figure out a way to fix it and deviate from from whatever's happening. What do we have? We had garlic, cumin, yellow mustard. That mustard's doing us some favors. Paprika, as much for flavor as for color. This ground turkey meat by itself looks awful, honestly. And of course, get some more Worcestershire sauce in there. You can use soy sauce. Soy sauce would have been a good call too. Hot sauce if you like spicy stuff. I might add hot sauce just to my own portion later. Not to offend anyone with more sensitive palates. We can turn this down, by the way, now. We should have done it a while ago, but we don't really want it to cook anymore. We just want it to keep staying warm so that the flavors can incorporate properly. But yeah, we don't want to dry it out at this point. All right. Oh yeah, definitely need to salt it some more. Yeah, it's hard to overspice, but not as hard to oversalt, so I really recommend you do that in stages. The grinder kind of helps you not screw up and accidentally dump a ton of it in there out of a Morton's container or something. It's a good wrist workout too. Yeah, there we go. That's the flavor I'm looking for. Salt brings out everything else somehow. That's pretty much it. The rice is looking like it's coming along pretty well. There's some moisture there at the bottom that's just going to steam out. So we're going to wait for the rice to finish, and then we'll plate it up and we'll eat. Alright, I think the rice is about done now, so go ahead and plate that up. Get a good helping of rice here. Now our meat and veggie slop, packed protein and nutrients. little bit more rice. Yeah, and there you have it. Proteins, vegetables, carbs. Fairly simple recipe, highly flexible. You can kind of make whatever you want out of it. Fairly cheap too, about $25 to $30 for all of this. You'll have at least 6 servings of the meat and veggies, and you can probably do even better if you went to a Trader Joe's or a small, local grocery store or something. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.